Morning all, how's it going? I hope everyone's having a good weekend. Wasn't it good when Sunday used to be the football day? And they need to sort that shit out pronto, especially considering it turns out the coronavirus is no more dangerous than fucking swine flu. I really do have to question why half the world shut down as a result of it. You know, I heard a statistic on LBC the other day that said less than 500 people had died in the whole of Britain, which is nearly 70 million people. Under the age of 45, and I think almost all of them that did had one of four comorbidities, and it was like cancer, diabetes, heart defects, or I think it was Alzheimer's. But anyway, it's ridiculous. If you think of the numbers, it's fucking ridiculous that we closed so much shit down. Decimated the economy. I reckon 60,000 people additionally are going to die of cancer as a result of not getting treatment. Nobody's been going to A&E for minor ailments. Even like toothache and stuff. It's just fuck people's lives up. Just for no logical reason. I'm almost turning into conspiracy theory. And I think a lot of these lefty fucking academics want to tank the economy just to fuck Trump's re-election in November. Like, I believe it. I don't believe that a lot of these people are going to be Obama-era appointees. And I don't think like Anthony Fauci and these, they're not interested in getting the economy running again either. Because they know it'll fuck Trump in November if everything's completely gone to shit. Anyway, it's time once again for your favourite weekly news roundup. The identity politics riven clusterfuck that is the Shite You See on the BBC. YouTube's premier news and current affairs show. It's definitely better than like some shit on the BBC with fucking Andrew Neil's the only guy who works for them who's not a fucking maniac. Anyway, first one I found that's funny. Scrubs, a sitcom that's actually aged well. It's this girl who's a fucking loser who spends all of her time watching Scrubs, right? And she's going on about how it's marvellous because it's progressive. Now, Scrubs, I never really watched it. My mate was a big fan. Apparently it's quite funny. But it said fans like me found Scrubs to be a sort of moral guide because there's a black man in it. And if there's a black man in it, it's definitely good. Well, they're less keen on the Cosby Show nowadays, but... Other than that, Donald and Zach were great friends. Named him godfather to his children. Some of it was way too un-PC for sure, and we often cringe. But it definitely still holds up. Clara thinks the show comes across as quite progressive, and another female character has a monologue near the beginning about how she wears a thong and she's still a good nurse. I like that the attitude, just because you embrace your sexuality, doesn't make you any less strong. She watches through all 8 seasons at least once a year. Does that make me sad, she asks? Again, I don't have an answer. I've got an answer. Yes, it does, you fucking sad bastard. Go for a walk. This annoys me because they just have to pour over everything now with a fine-tooth comb and say, ooh, is there any racism? Is there any sexism? Is there any homophobia? Fucking, you can't go through history with a sledgehammer and just destroy things like iconoclasts in ISIS. Like, who cares if Scrubs wasn't that PC or was? Whatever. Leave shit alone. It was popular at the time. It's not a terrible show. It's not fucking... He doesn't beat a gay man to death with a claw hammer in the emergency room. Fucking leave it. I watch Roseanne with my missus occasionally. She likes that show. That was a good fucking show. We're all down on it because she made a fucking bad joke. Like, it was a good show. There was plenty of representative characters in there. A mate was a lesbian. I would say even that is a progressive show if I was to fucking whinge about it. But I don't care. Because I'm not a madman. I just watch it if it's entertaining. And these people need to get a fucking life. It doesn't matter if there's a little bit of problematic comedy in a comedy show. It doesn't mean everybody who worked on it was in the fucking Ku Klux Klan. Christ, you can even make a few homophobic jokes. It doesn't mean the poor bastard wants to kick a gay man to death outside a fucking homosexual disco. Just leave them alone. Stop fucking going on about it. Like I said, the BBC is just toxic. Look at this one. John Boyega, Star Wars actor, rails against racism. Fucking in the most pleasant, progressive, well-fed, healthy, best time ever in human history to be anything. And they complain about it more than they ever have. Look at this privileged, entitled millionaire twat whinging about his fucking lot. They all want to move to fucking London or LA. They don't, I'm sure in Somalia they're not going, fuck off, I'm not going over there, there's racists. I'll stay here, fetch the communal goat. They aren't, they want to come here. So again, they don't believe their own bullshit. They say it, but they don't believe it themselves. Oh, it's toxic and evil in London. Well, fuck off back to wherever it is your fucking grandparents came from then. We know you won't, because you don't believe it. He doesn't believe it. He knows he's privileged. He knows he's lucky. That's why they spend every fucking waking hour trying to get into these places. They all want to go to Germany and France and London and fucking America and Canada and Australia. And then they get there and they go, oh, fucking hell, this is a fucking shithole. Don't believe a word of it. Actor John Boyega has delivered an uncompromising message against racism. He added that white on black racism in caps had ruined the world. Well, the Ottoman Empire, did they ruin the world? Or the Egyptians, when they were when they killed 10,000 slaves building the pyramids, did they ruin the world? No? He said a fan tweeted, he broke up with his girlfriend because she was racist against white people, and Boyega said, I'm talking about white on black. That kind has ruined the world, not your lil breakup with your girlfriend. So he acts like a cunt, and then people have a go at him about it, and he says, oh, you lot can't rattle me. Fuck off. Reading through the comments John Boyega received should make your blood boil. He was the one talking shite, Dylan. He was the one being an arsehole, taking the piss out of a black guy. Because he said, yeah, my girlfriend was a bit racist. And he went, no, that's the wrong kind of racism. And then he fucking collapses on his victim sword. And everyone's praising the guy. He's a fucking knobhead. That's why most people were giving him shit. Because he acted like a dickhead. They're fucking crazy. John, no one believes your bullshit. We both know it. You're glad you were born and raised in fucking England and not Ethiopia. So stop fucking whinging. And look at this one on the right, the thumbnail. It's more of the same narcissism. These people don't believe the shit that comes out their mouth. They don't. He knows it and she knows it. Look, as a black American, I am terrified. Terrified. In 2020... a middle class black, because they're always middle class, aren't they? Social justice warriors are middle class. You never get like a fucking black bus driver. They're fucking sound. They just go into work going, what are these fucking losers talking about? Like, you never get on a bus and there's a bus driver going, let me tell you about the victim narrative created by the patriarchal cis-het structures of the United States. You just go drive the fucking bus, mate. So that doesn't happen. Janitors and plumbers and bus drivers that happen to be black don't give a shit. It's always brainwashed gender studies or black studies or fucking art students who went to Ivy League universities who do this shit. We don't believe you, and you don't believe the shit you're saying. You can tell by looking at it. You can tell he's got a nose ring in. He's probably he spends his weekends listening to Sonic Youth and hanging out with fucking Whitey at poetry readings like a knobhead. So yeah, BBC's Nabia Parker has been speaking to young, and they never spell anything right either, do they? Has been speaking to young African Americans who say they are scared for their safety. Really? Well, I know plenty of African Americans. Sorry, I don't like that term. We don't use it in England. Black British. We don't say African British. I haven't fucking been anywhere near Africa. Which again, how's that progressive? We say if you're born and raised in England and you've got an English accent and you like English culture and you watch English football, you're just English. We don't care what your origins are. That's progressive. Going on, African American is not a good term. They're not African. Fucking American. Embrace it. And that's why they want you to say that, because they want to control the language and use their shit terminology. I know plenty of black people that don't walk around being scared for their safety because they're not narcissistic, middle class, social justice activists. Anyway.
Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! I see a clear distinction of how black and white people are treated in America.
No justice, no peace!
Thousands of people have been protesting in the US city of Minneapolis following the death of George.
Yeah, burning down an AutoZone, that'll show the police department who's boss. I think they give a flying fuck what happens to AutoZone. Do you think AutoZone pays into their pension fund?
George Floyd. On May 27, police there say they responded to a call.
I won't watch it. You're all bored of hearing about George Floyd. I know I am. Middle-class social justice warriors are pretending to walk around terrified. They aren't. She's currently at Starbucks. talking about, postmodernism, reading Karl Marx with her friends over a mocha chai latte or some bullshit. She's not terrified. We know this. Fucking Jesus wept. This one made me laugh. The machine stops. Will Gompertz reviews E.M. Forster's work because the thumbnail is, this amazing show set in England in 1909. Look at the pictures they use for the thumbnails. I know that they seem to be pathologically afraid of white men on the BBC. They just won't put them in anything if they can avoid it. It's talking about 1909 and they've picked a black dude and a white woman. I've talked about this when we had like Black Braveheart and Black Romans and Black Victorian chimney sweeps. In fucking 1909, the UK was one of the most homogenous societies on planet Earth. It was 99.99% whitey. So stop pretending like fucking London in 1909 looked like London in 2020, because it didn't. It's a new thing. And you can talk about it as much as you like and make all the fake cartoons for the kids as much as you like. We're not buying it. The world's changed, but stop trying to erase history. No one's got a problem with the fact we have a multicultural society, because like everything else, you've got to... immigrants and anybody else who moves anywhere should be taken as an individual. But stop fucking trying to pretend that fucking England was 50% black when Dunkirk went off, because it didn't. Like, they actually complained about the lack of diversity in Dunkirk. Fucking Dunkirk. Like, you think there was wheelchair-bound Muslim lesbians rolling across the sands with the soldiers. There wasn't. So shut the fuck up and pick some reasonably sensible imagery for your shit postmodernist ramblings from Will Gompertz, the BBC's prematurely balding, fucking honking, geggy, weird, ginger fucking arts editor. Fucking hell. This one made me laugh. I'll put it in the links. I will not poison your eyes and ears with the fucking video. How self-pleasure became the safest sex option. I've talked about this as well. I don't understand why they're obsessed with trying to get people to stop breeding and stop getting married. The conspiracy theorists and the guys whinging about cultural Marxism love to say that they're always trying to destroy the institution of marriage. And I'm forced to conclude, maybe they are. Maybe they're right. Because all you see on the BBC is, why threesomes are amazing. Why polyamory is fantastic. Why watching another man gorilla fuck your wife can make your relationship better. Why wanking yourself senseless every day is better than having a girlfriend. Like, it's endless. And I don't fucking get it. So maybe they aren't conspiracy theorists. Maybe they really are trying to dismantle the family unit and stop us fucking breeding. I don't know. I'm not down with all that Kaliegi plan stuff. It starts to get a bit weird. But I do know the BBC seems to be obsessed with just tearing down marriage. I've done loads of videos about it. Every week there's something. Watching 8 sailors fuck your wife to death is a fantastic relationship booster. I'm not buying it. I don't think you should be promoting promiscuity, sex toys, and anything other than getting married and having a kid. I don't see what the problem is with doing that. But hey, watch it if you want to. Coronavirus, what attacks on Asians reveal about American identity, right? Every fucking day they're obsessed with identity politics. This bullshit says attacks on East Asians living in the US have shot up during the pandemic. Tracy Wenlou's life feels un-American. She says, I didn't stand out a lot. They love to tell you as well, all these fucking middle-class twats, about how good they are, don't they? She loved to watch Sex and the City and volunteer at food banks. Did you? Well, I don't believe you. The more you shout about volunteering at food banks, the more I think you just went to Starbucks and said, make me a drink, peasant. She said in one case a Korean friend was pushed and yelled because she was Asian and wore a mask. Again, it's more related to the one that I talked about earlier. They don't believe their own bullshit. Why do they all desperately want to come here? Why, when I went to get my American citizenship, it's like a fucking airport. It's heaving with people. And seriously, in LA, 95% of the room was fucking Asian. It wasn't Mexicans or blacks like you would expect from the media. It was fucking Asian. Like, there was me, a black fella, and 800 Chinese guys, and they want you to believe that Asians are terrified as well now. I'm fucking terrified of America. America's evil. Oh, fucking hell. Let me in, America. Let me in. Let me in. I'm sick of eating a terrifying selection of bizarre creatures hoisted from every corner of the earth. Let me in. I want to go to Chick-fil-A. They don't believe this shit themselves. He Chung, Zhao Yingfeng, Boyega, you lying bastards. You don't believe it. Look, you're having a party there. You're fucking loving life at USC. Got all these disgusting whiteys behind you. Look at them. They're loving life. She's buzzing. She's like, yes, USC is way better than Guangzhou fucking University in Guangzhou province. They know it. I know it. Nobody believes your bullshit. How serious is anti-Asian prejudice? It's terrible. It's terrible. They make more money on average than white people. They live in bigger houses and they eat better and they get better grades and they're just fucking winning in every category. But it's terrible for them. It's terrible for them. That's why they all want to come here. I do like that graffiti on the Mulan poster. She's got a mask on. Wuhan. Oh look, a poster was vandalised, therefore evil. Some vandalised posters? Fucking hell, clearly a nation of hate. Burn it all down. Fucking ridiculous. Yeah, 1/3 of people surveyed said they'd witnessed someone blaming an Asian for the pandemic. Fucking hell, stop the press. Kill them all. These murderous villains. Anyway, yeah, that's a good one. Typical BBC fare. Absolute bullshit. Not a word of it's fucking true. We know it and the fuckers that write it know it. This one was fucking unbelievably biased. All about the US coronavirus. It said, the almost tragically perfect piece of cemetery. He calls it the Chinese virus. Well, because it comes from fucking China. No, we'll come to that. Just blatantly, it is written with just venom and spite towards Trump. And it says, deaths in conflict. Korea, Vietnam, Iraq, COVID-19. Well, these stats are fucking bollocks, aren't they? As I've discussed, hardly anyone under the age of 45, almost no one without pre-existing conditions. It's bollocks. And he didn't start the fucking virus, it started in China. China! So stop fucking whinging about it. This is just hatred of Trump. It's aggressively biased. You can see the tone from from the headline. From we've shut it down to 100,000 dead. It is just dripping with venom and spite all the way through it. Donald Trump is not imbued with the gift of Churchillian rhetoric. There have been no moments, nor has he conjured up Rooseveltian calm. It's just talking shit about Trump. We all know the crack. We know what the BBC's game is. They are as vehemently anti-Trump as an Antifa activist, these fuckers. And we're paying for it. British taxpayers are paying for the state-funded media to constantly tear strips out of the president of our greatest ally. Do you think that's a good idea? That's almost as bad an idea as paying for our universities to brainwash our own children to hate their own country. Good job we don't do that, eh? And last one, George Floyd death. Why has a US city gone up in flames? I won't talk about it in detail. You all know why. Leading on from yesterday, I'll simply say that again. The police need to sort this shit out. They need training better, and this stuff will happen far less frequently. But they've killed hundreds of fucking white dudes this year. Some of them were fucking shocking, and this shit didn't happen. It's not about George Floyd anymore. It's about an excuse for rampant criminality, and these fucking people need to get a grip. They don't need middle-class white arseholes to speak for them. Most black people, they're individuals. They've got their own opinions. Some of them are outraged and protesting. Some of them aren't. Some of them are going to vote for Trump. Some of them see it as an excuse for rampant criminality and are off on the streets going fucking mental and burning shit. But the cure for bad coppers is not to go and wreck a fucking AutoZone, is it? It's got nothing to do with them. I will not bother elucidating further. If you want to hear my opinions about the police, watch yesterday's video. Quite a quick one this week. It's just endless. Endless identity politics. And middle class fucking arseholes talking shit that they don't even believe themselves. As a black American, I am terrified. They've done that loads lately, haven't they? Some story involves a gay dude. Oh, well, as a gay man. Or involves a woman. Well, as a woman. As if your intellect and your empathy and your learnedness in general has got nothing to do with anything. All that really matters is what you are. It's the most illiberal shit I've ever heard. And I think if this week hasn't proven what I've been saying for the last year, that we've spent the last 10 years going backwards. We've definitely gone backwards. This is why people call them the regressive left, because we've gone backwards. When I was a young lad, we were fucking doing fine. People weren't obsessed with what you happen to be. They just cared about your individual characteristics. But now we are fucking obsessed with what you are. And every sentence starts with, speaking as a gay man, speaking as a one-footed lesbian with a hijab, speaking as a... I don't care what you are. I care about what's in here and what's in here. And if you've got the IQ that the gods gave a fucking goose, you should feel exactly the same. That's the BBC for the week. I'll see you guys very shortly. Cheers.